About 9 months ago, we asked if our Ranger tug R-29 is capable of extended cruising as we previewed our season-long test and review.
That video is linked above and in the description.
We are answering the question in this video, starting by ranking our resources based on how we were impacted.
We'll close with some thoughts on comfort and the size of this particular boat.
Since May 2022, we cruised 3,254 miles in 106 days. During that time, we collected data regarding Emerson's limited resources like fuel, fresh water, hot water, holding tank usage, house batteries, and propane.
This year, we shared the data as we collected it. And you can see how Emerson performed in varying conditions in our 2024 cruising videos.
But now, let's see how these resources affected our travels, starting with the smallest impact and ending with the most significant.
Emerson has a locker on her swim platform that, among other things, contains 2 propane cylinders. Coming from the world of RVs, it took us a while to fully realize that on Emerson the propane is only used for some of our cooking. There is no propane generator. Heat comes from a diesel furnace or a hydronic heater. The hot water heater also uses the hydronic system or shore power.
Our boat dinners are mostly prepared on the grill if the weather allows, and when we are on marina power, we typically use an induction plate that neatly stores inside the oven.
During the last 29 months, we have used about a quarter of our onboard propane. Your usage may be different, but for us, the amount of propane we carry does not limit our cruising experience. If it did, we could easily carry more tanks or get the onboard tanks refilled.
Next up, as our number 5, is fuel. Emerson has a 145-gallon tank of diesel. In the Pacific Northwest, we almost always have to deal with currents. Careful planning can result in amazing fuel efficiency and range.
On the other end of the spectrum, when traveling at our fast cruise speed of 15 to 18 knots, fuel economy can be as low as 1.2 miles per gallon.
At wide open throttle, Emerson can move at 23 knots, but fuel efficiency does not drop a lot further. A good assumption is that Emerson can achieve a range of about 400 nautical miles, traveling near hull speed in slack water.
And if you are willing to slow down just a bit to trawler speed, you can easily double your range.
But here is another important point. Unlike some of our friends whose outboard engines require mid-grade ethanol-free gasoline, which is not very common, we use diesel that is available at most marinas, and we have had no trouble finding diesel in all of our cruising.
To everyone's benefit, we'll keep our visuals to a minimum for our number 4.
Emerson has a 40-gallon holding tank, which all by itself is significant. But also in Washington, all marinas we have visited, and even some marine parks, have free pump-outs. In British Columbia, pump-outs are less frequent and are mostly fee-based.
If all else fails, Emerson can pump waste overboard. We never had to do this, but we keep apprised of the laws and rules in case that changes. We are not worried.
We consider ourselves lucky to live and cruise in an area with excellent and ample fresh water. We never had any issues finding good quality water on Vancouver Island or the mainland. Recently, we also found even higher quality fresh water at Toba Wilderness and the Blind Channel Resort, 2 very remote marinas, the latter being on a relatively small island.
We keep quality up by filtering the water as we fill the 40-gallon tank. And when we use the water, we filter it again with the highest quality filter we were able to find.
Freshwater consumption is reduced by the fact that the toilet uses raw water to flush, in our case, salt water. We did not experience any shortage or anxiety over running out of fresh water.
Emerson produces hot water via a shore power heating element or an engine coolant heat exchanger.
Even a short cruise of an hour or so will reset this counter, but if you plan to be on the hook for a while, 2 days are all you can expect unless you have a generator or an expensive portable power station.
Emerson is a Pacific Northwest edition and does not have a factory generator.
We like to move every other day and don't feel the pinch, but there is a limitation here.
Our battery limitations are similar to our hot water limitations. 48 to 60 hours, but we rather take a cold shower than run out of power.
We have tried to conserve power by using only one of the 2 fridges, turning off USB chargers, keeping the inverter off, not using the higher draw electronics, etc., but even a 15 or 20% improvement does not give us another night on the hook.
It is possible, of course, to beef up our solar system by upgrading the solar charge controller and the existing solar panel or adding additional panels. But, given the cloud cover in our shoulder seasons, we favor Emerson's Volvo alternator as a source of power. Our preferred solution would be a portable power station and an efficient 2-way DC to DC charger. That would easily give us 4 to 5 days on anchor.
In conclusion, while there are some limitations in Emerson's resources, it was difficult for us to rank them as our style of cruising is not cramped by any of them. If you have watched some of our other videos, you know that we delight in visiting the towns and marinas in our cruising areas, fish and chips from trawlers in Nanaimo, exploring San Juan Island, the markets on Salt Spring Island, and culture in Victoria. We feel that we would really miss out if we didn't tie up from time to time.
We can go the distance in Emerson, but the question always was if we can do so comfortably.
Emerson has plenty of space for her crew, guests, provisions, and gear. That applies to seating and sleeping spaces, refrigeration space in 2 fridges and a wine or water cooler, galley and stateroom storage, and of course, generous cockpit lockers.
The decking in the cockpit, the custom runner in the cabin, and certainly the stairs to the flybridge make it effortless and comfortable to get around and spread out.
The main berth is larger than the one in Emerson's larger brother, the R-31, and the addition of a custom topper makes this as comfortable as our bed at home.
A significantly larger boat, we assume, would be more comfortable. But we also discovered that Emerson's size has advantages. For example, the vast majority of mooring balls here at the Newcastle Island Marine Park are limited to boats of 30 feet or less.
When not on mooring balls, we like to visit marinas. There have been plenty of times when we didn't see a lot of empty slips, and Emerson's size was just right for what was available. It seemed to us that it was easier for us to find a spot than it would have been with a larger boat.
If you see a link to an ad in this video's description, Emerson is for sale and we are considering Emerson too.
If not, we probably changed our minds. Emerson has filled our hearts with joy and has given us wonderful memories. We have no doubt that she can keep doing that for a long, long time.
She has been competent and comfortable, but most importantly, she has kept us safe.
'Cause with you, I feel no fear. And when you hold me, all my wounds are healed. When I'm with you, I feel safe. There is no pretending, no need to escape.
Thank you for joining us.